Cooper.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship, Mr Vickers, and I'd like to begin by commending my honourable friend for North Ayrshire, Aaron, for leading this important debate and setting out the arguments so clearly. I welcome the petition upon which today's debate is predicated, and I recognise the calls from the petitioners, including the 141 people from Mid-Cheshire who signed the petition. I believe that any measures which can increase breast cancer diagnosis rates, improve treatment options, enhance survival and ultimately save lives must be carefully considered. A diagnosis of breast cancer is devastating at any stage, but when it comes too late, when opportunities for early detection have been missed, the consequences are profound and irreversible. Behind every statistic is a person, a family, a future altered forever. Today, I want to focus on the story of my constituent, Sarah. Sarah was identified as being at a higher risk of developing breast cancer due to her family history. In March 2020, she took the responsible step of seeing her GP and was referred for genetic testing. But as the COVID-19 pandemic took hold, all non-symptomatic breast screening, including family history assessments, was paused locally. Sarah did everything right. She repeatedly followed up, sought answers, and was reassured she remained on a waiting list. But that appointment never came. Just over a year later, in May 2021, Sarah found a lump in her breast. Following investigations, she was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer, an aggressive form of the disease. She underwent a mastectomy and chemotherapy, but even then, her journey was marked by delays in test results and the start of treatment. Less than a year later, in April 2022, Sarah discovered another lump. This time, the cancer had spread. What had once been treatable was now incurable. Treatment could only manage, not cure. Again, delays followed, delays that no patient in such a fragile situation should ever endure. But despite this, Sarah wrote, "I would like to make it clear that I very much appreciate the care and support I have received, despite the obvious, overwhelming and continuing pressures on the NHS. Almost every single NHS employee has been extremely kind and professional and have made many difficult experiences at least a little easier. They appear to share many of the frustrations." Tragically, Sarah passed away in May 2024, aged just 46. Even in the face of her own mortality, Sarah fought for change. She spoke out about her experience and called for improvements to ensure timely testing and treatment. Crucially, she argued that non-symptomatic screening must never again be paused, even in times of crisis, because early diagnosis saves lives. Sarah was absolutely right to highlight the significant impact that pausing non-symptomatic screening had on early diagnosis, treatment options and patient outcomes. Any disruption to early detection has lasting and devastating consequences. Her call to ensure that future pandemic preparedness protects vital screening services must be heeded. After Sarah's death, her husband, Dave, carried forward her campaign with extraordinary courage and determination. His advocacy, born of grief, was both powerful and inspiring. But tragically, Dave took his own life a few short months ago. We cannot let their story end here. Their experience lays bare the cost of delay, the cost of inaction, and the cost of systems that fail to prioritise early diagnosis. We must act by strengthening screening programmes, ensuring resilience in times of crisis, and delivering timely care for every patient. Let this be the legacy of Sarah and Dave, not one of loss alone, but of change. We owe it to them and to every family to ensure that no one else endures what they did. Thank you.
Also, I must mention my honourable friend, the member for Mid-Cheshire, who gave a very emotional speech about his constituent Sarah and her husband, partner, David. So tragic. And I want to thank him for sharing that and want him to know that, you know, for all of us here who heard that, that already was not in vain. I think, you know, he said he wanted to make sure that that had been heard and how tragic and the consequences and long-lasting the effect of this awful disease is, not just on those who suffer, but the wider family.